Larry Myers, USA News.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
There we go. So that's good to go. Alright.
New Mandalorian's coming out soon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here's NBC 10 Boston. NBC Slow Zones have released. Is that what you have?
What?
Is that what you have? NBC 10 Boston? About the slow zones?
Yeah, hold on. Could take a look here, 1 sec.
No, this is on Facebook.
Just go North Dakota weather. Frisco, Texas weather. And then we're gonna go to the Zombies new album. And the Zombies time of the season. And then the zombies themselves. Okay. Perfect. Gonna do that all in the first segment. On your red mic. That goes back up. Alright, we hit 305, enter. Oh, come on. 305, enter. There we go.
Expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVDF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
270, enter. Come on. Play. There we go.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Alright, 3, 2, 1. And good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. Hey, that rhymes. Good morning, Don. How are you this morning?
Good. We're looking at the parking lot here at 14 Church Green in Taunton, Massachusetts, the center of the universe. And there's a little bit of snow on the parking lot. I guess we got a dusting over, yesterday.
Looks pretty covered to me, yeah.
It's kind of pretty, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, just a little something for everyone to go dust off the cars. And,
yeah, so we
dust
got
off your patio or your front porch.
So we got quite a bit to get to today. We got first off, we got the sports. It'll be coming up in a little bit, but first off, we got our music recommendation. But before we do that, during this first segment, I'd like to talk about the weather, because the weather is very interesting. 20 degrees outside of our Taunton Federal Credit Union studios. Right now it is cloudy skies. 41 today for the highs, so some of that snow might be gone by the end of the day today. Tomorrow 38 degrees, sunny skies. 38 on Tuesday, possible snow and mix. Looks like the snow that we were early forecasted to get late last week on Monday. Late last week they were forecasting some snow for Monday. It's not going to happen now. So the weather has changed a little bit there. But there is a snow and rain mix for Tuesday and a snow and rain mix for Friday. 55 on Thursday, though. So the weather is starting to warm back up once again, starting today. We're not going to have much in the way of colder weather coming up here. But tonight will be cold. Other than that, temperatures start to warm back up, though, after today. 20 degrees in Middleboro. Same temperatures, same weather for the most part. So that's what's going on in Taunton and Middleboro. Driscoll, Texas. Actually, Driscoll, North Dakota first, then Driscoll, Texas. Driscoll, North Dakota. 9 degrees, sunny skies, a high of 30 today. Snow on Tuesday and Wednesday in Driscoll, North Dakota. A low on Wednesday night in Driscoll, North Dakota of -8. And in Driscoll, Texas, 72 degrees. A high of 83 today, low of 68. Tomorrow, 87. Wednesday, 95 degrees in Driscoll, Texas. So that is the weather. Our musical recommendation, as I mentioned last week, is The Zombies. The Zombies, a band from Britain, from the United Kingdom. Formed in the early 60s in St. Albans, Hertfordshire, which is in England. And it is led by keyboardist and vocalist Rod Argent, who, other than the Zombies, has had a pretty good career. Had a song, not sure exactly when the song came out, I can look that up, but Hold Your Head Up, which was a huge hit for him as well. And Colin Blunstone is part of the Zombies as well. Group had a British and American hit in 1964 with She's Not There. In the U.S., two further singles, Tell Her No in 1965, and one of their biggest hits, probably their biggest hit, Time of the Season, which came out in 1968. Their album in 1968 called Odyssey and Oracle was ranked 100 on the Rolling Stones 2012 list of top 500 albums of all time, and number 243 on the Rolling Stones 2020 list. The Zombies were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 2019. They are still active. Again, they have a new album coming out. Their last album was back in, looks like it's 2000 was their last album. So maybe not. No, 2015. 60s recordings. There was one of them that came out in 2000. That's why I said 2000 there. But there was 3 60s recordings in 1965, 1968. 2 of them in 1968. One of them did not come out until the year 2000. But their last studio album was in 2015. They put out a ton of albums since 2001. They've put out at least 5 here that I could say. But their newest one's coming out this year. Actually, at the end of next month. It's called A Different Game. And there's one song that we talked about at the end of last week that came out already for the album. Again, they are most well known for their song "Time of the Season." And I want to get Don's thought on the Zombies real quick. Don, your thoughts?
What was the name of that single?
"Dropped Reeling and Stupid."
Yeah, you played that for me last Saturday, and it just hit me. It just right out of the blocks, I liked it. And it's funny because sometimes songs, you gotta warm up to them a little bit before you really like them. But some songs just grab you. And that song grabbed me because you always play songs for me that I never heard before. You're always finding stuff. You're always pulling stuff out of the box and playing it for me. And I really liked it. I really thought it was upbeat. It was good. I mean, a band like the Zombies putting up new music, nothing more I love about that. I just think that's great. I love the idea that these old bands keep going, and why not? I mean, it's just music should never die. I mean, it's the whole. If they're up and breathing and kicking, and they can pick up an instrument, and I'm not sure who's singing on that particular track, but their voice is good. They got the pipes and they're playing, and anybody who grew up with the Zombies, because I really didn't. I mean, I don't know much. I know some of this. I know the hits. But somebody like Jim DuPont, and or someone like a person like that who knows music really well, probably knows the Zombies inside and out. Period.
Yes.
That's his era. That's when he grew up. And but just by listening to "Time of the Season," was that '68?
Yeah.
And then "Hold Your Head Up" by Rod Argent, the solo he did, and I believe he did that in '71, 72, somewhere around there. I'm just guessing. I'm not even looking. And then the new song, you could tell his keyboard style. It's just, it's
you can tell it's Rod Argent.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's Rod Argent. And I like the Zombies, but there's something about "Hold Your Head Up" that I really like. It's just, I remember hearing it as a kid, and I remember it being, because he does a lot of keyboard work, and that's his signature. And something about that song, it just grabs me. It's just one of those songs that are timeless. Even though, who knows what kind of keyboards he was using in '71, and any keyboard player over the years, in the '70s, I think all the Moog synthesizers came out in the mid-'70s, and anybody who had a few dollars in the band industry was buying their new toys. I mean, from bands like, from Deep Purple to, any of the rock bands in the '70s, Experiment, even Captain Tennille. I remember watching the Captain Tennille show when I was a kid, and the captain was sitting there playing his magic organ keyboard, and I was sitting there. I must have been about 7 years old. I was 75, so I was born in '67, so I was 8 years old or whatever. And I'm sitting there with my mouth open, just amazed at the captain. He had his captain hat, and I thought that was the most magical thing I've ever seen in my life. Was him playing his keyboard synthesizer on the Captain and Tennille show. I remember that like it was yesterday, sitting on Indian style on the floor watching the TV, and it was amazing. And it was something new. '75, that's when all the Moog synthesizers, all the newer keyboards, all the newer electronics were starting to come out, and it really had a fascinating sound as far as music was concerned.
So that is our musical recommendation. If you want to give us a call, 508-822-1106 is the number. 508-822-1106. Again, that's the number. You want to give us a call. Talk about your experience with the Zombies. And what you think of the Zombies as well. All right, our sports segment. We got a lot for sports. We got a lot to get to. A lot to get to, but we'll be quick here. So, first off, me and Don were listening to the Motor Racing Network last night. I was tuning into the Xfinity race that was supposed to happen last night, right around 5 o'clock our time, 2 o'clock California time, or Pacific time. It was in Fontana, California yesterday. NASCAR is in Fontana, California this weekend. The Xfinity race was supposed to take place yesterday. It did not take place yesterday. A mixture of rain and snow postponed that race. It snowed in California. Very interesting thing there. I was listening to that broadcast, and they were saying that it was snowing, and that people went outside to take pictures of it snowing outside, which is very interesting to me. Don, you heard that as well.
It was
people went outside and took pictures of it snowing outside in California.
It's funny, the announcers were sounded like kids at Christmas by looking at the snow, especially if you don't see it much. Southern California, it's definitely a rarity. And Yeah, you could tell by the excitement in the voices of the announcers. It was just fun. I mean, come live here. Go move to Bangor, Maine for a month, and you won't be so happy about snow.
No. So the NASCAR Xfinity Series race will take place. It will take place this evening, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right after the Cup Series race, which is supposed to take place this afternoon at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Again, they are racing at Auto Club Speedway, which is in Fontana, California. And this is the last time that they'll be doing so under the current configuration of the track. The track is a 2-mile racetrack, but they'll be changing that. And I don't know if, not sure what they're doing next season, if they'll be racing there again. But this is the final race for Auto Club Speedway under its current configuration. So, Cup Series and Xfinity Series this afternoon. The New England Revolution defeated Charlotte FC with a 1-0 victory. Goal in the 89th minute by Henry Kessler. So a late goal was able to push the New England Revolution to a 1-0 victory. They'll take on the Houston Dynamo on Saturday. 7:30 p.m. start there. And then next Sunday after that, they'll be taking on LAFC, the 2022 champions of MLS. So that should be an interesting matchup there. LAFC versus New England Revolution on March 12th. That should be a game to definitely watch and listen to on the radio. The Celtics now. The Celtics picked up a victory against the Philadelphia 76ers, 110-107. They are now 44-17 on the year. So they're continuing to pick up some big wins every single game. It seems like the Celtics and the Bruins are in the W column and not in the L column, which is a very good thing. The Boston Bruins also picked up a victory yesterday, 3-1. They're now 45-8-5, and I think they're pretty close to clinching a playoff spot at some point. I assume that's going to happen very soon. They continue to win. I think the Boston Bruins will be one of the first teams to clinch a playoff spot, which is going to be huge because the earlier you clinch a playoff spot, the more rest you can give your players. That's going to work really well for the Bruins going into April, going into the playoffs. So the Bruins could lock up a playoff spot, I think, very soon here. They're 45-8-5. I think a playoff spot's coming for them very soon. And once that happens, probably expect the Bruins to rest some of their players at certain points towards the end of the season as well, so that injuries don't happen. Because you don't want a lot of injuries going into the postseason for the Bruins. They have a really good team right now. The Red Sox did not win yesterday, but they did not lose either. It was a tie against the Atlanta Braves, so at least that's good that they didn't lose. But they didn't win either, so it was kind of a 50-50 kind of day for the Red Sox. They almost lost to the Northeastern College baseball team, 5-3. They did win. They put together a good game late, and they won 5-3. But they kind of struggled against Northeastern. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days.
How long have they been playing Northeastern?
I do not know. That's something I should look up at some point.
That'd be funny if Northeastern did win.
That would have been interesting.
They'd be rocking the halls at Northeastern.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
They came close, 5-3. The Maine Celtics, the NBA G League affiliate of the Boston Celtics, defeated the Greensboro Swarm 120-106 yesterday. And also we have the Providence Bruins as well. And let me see here. Let me get to their game here that they had. So their last game was a 6-5 overtime victory against the Charlotte Checkers. So again, win, and another win, and one tie. So across the board for our major teams here, victories, which is a great thing. So the Providence Bruins, again, picking up a victory. That's really good. So we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm not sure there's another game between these teams, between any of these teams. I think the Red Sox probably played sometime. I don't know if they play today, but so we'll see what happens for the rest of the weekend. See who plays and see who picks up the victory for the rest of this weekend. I know college basketball is almost done. A couple more weeks and then it'll be over for the regular season at least. So we'll see what happens there for March Madness. But that is your sports segment, Don.
It's kind of exciting that spring training has started.
Yes.
Even though we got snow in the parking lot, and it hasn't really been a bad winter, but it's still winter, and still have to put a coat on, and no people aren't swimming and doing summer activities because we're still into February. But the whole idea of the first game that the Red Sox played against Northeastern kind of makes you feel good. Makes you feel like spring is here, and it's on its way, and baseball, hot dogs, scent of hot dogs and popcorn and Cracker Jacks and whatever other songs, and just people like the idea of baseball. And the first game, the Northeastern game, was something I kind of embraced when you told me that, because I kind of like the idea that they played Northeastern the first, start of the Red Sox season.
Exactly, yeah.
That's pretty cool, and I'm sure the players from Northeastern, it's a thrill to play the Red Sox on the field down in Florida. And Florida's a nice place to be right now because it's warm. It was chilly yesterday, but it's like anything though. Come May and June, Florida ain't so desirable when it comes to 95-degree heat every day.
Yeah.
So in a way, their summer is our winter as far as comfort zone.
Yes.
They have to run the air conditioner. So the air conditioner is like the heating system here in the winter. I mean, we have our ACs too, and a lot of people have them, but we don't have to run them 24/7 from May to October. I mean, there's days when you can shut the ACs off here up in the Northeast.
So I think next week for our sports segment, we're going to talk about spring training quite a bit and what teams are participating in spring training. All the MLB teams are. Some college teams are as well participating in the MLB spring training, like Northeastern. There are others, of course, across the country that are participating, having scrimmage preseason games, scrimmage-like preseason game with other MLB teams as well, not just Northeastern, but many other colleges across the country. I think we'll go over where these MLB teams play exactly, and talk about the spring training games in Florida, and talk about the spring training games in Arizona. Both locations host different teams. The National League usually plays in Arizona. The American League usually plays in Florida, and we'll talk more about that next week. But it is 7:30. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Here we go. I found. I'm not sure if you want to. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. We can do that now then.
Yeah, do that.
Sully's on Castle Island open this weekend. Spring is on the way.
Who said that?
Patrick.
Pat who?
Pat Hussey.
Oh, well. You should go and get a hot dog. There's people who. I know there's a lot of people who always go on the open day to Sully's.
Yeah.
They could be 10 feet of snow on the ground and they'll open.
Let me refresh the news. Good.
Tell Pat good morning slippers. He'll know what I'm talking about. To Pat.
He can hear you.
You tell him.
You can hear.
Come on,
You can hear you.
Hey, slippers.
I'm busy here. Good. Ugh.
I was driving yesterday, tucking me out.
Perfect. I'm gonna log into my account now. I'm gonna log into my Gmail now so I can get to our teen histories. Perfect. Okay. 36. Oh, come on. 1, 3, 6. I hate this thing.
Your finger's gonna snap.
Give back Larry his comb.
I went to Hunters.
Alright, so, okay, let's just do the MBTA stuff now.
You gotta do the ballpark thing?
Yeah, after the MBTA stuff. I want to get that out of the way.
Really? I mean, we're kind of on the sports thing.
Alright, you know what? If you want to do that, we'll do it.
Yeah, just wrap that
No,
up.
we'll do that. Alright, give me that. Is this everything? Is this everybody?
I think it's just for Florida.
Oh, it's just for... Oh, this is just for the,
Grapefruit League?
The Grapefruit League, yeah.
That's all right.
Oh, okay, so the Grapefruit League, I think there's some national teams in here, too. In the
Oh,
Grapefruit
I
League,
can see
I
that
think. I'm not sure.
No.
No, there is, because the Mets are in the National League.
Okay.
So there is a mixture of American and National League
In Florida.
in Florida, and a mix of American and National League in Arizona.
Yeah. Is that just Florida?
That's just Florida, it looks
Okay.
like, yeah. Alright, 3, 2, 1. And we're back here on Middleboro in Review as I turn the music down. There we go. Alright, we are, Don was nice enough to to give us the teams in the MLB that play in Florida. So we're going to do that now. And then next week we're going to talk about Arizona. There's a mixture of American and National League teams that play in Florida. Same thing for Arizona. So it's not just American League plays in one state, National League plays in another. It's actually a mixture. So that's my bad. But anyway, in Florida, there are 15 teams in the Grapefruit League. 15 teams, 13 ballparks. Atlanta Braves play in the Cool Today Park, which is in Venice. Baltimore Orioles play at Ed Smith Stadium, which is Sarasota. The Boston Red Sox play at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. The Detroit Tigers play at Joker Merchant Stadium in Lakeland. The Houston Astros play at the ballpark at the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach. The Miami Marlins play at Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter. Minnesota Twins play in Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers. The New York Mets play at Clover Park in Port St. Louis.
St. Lucie?
St. Lucie, sorry.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Okay, I'm sorry. Apologize there.
I drove through it, that's why.
New York Yankees, Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Philadelphia Phillies, the Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater. Pittsburgh Pirates, Lake Holm Park in Bradenton. St. Louis Cardinals, Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter. Tampa Bay Rays, Charlotte Sports Park in Port Charlotte. Toronto Blue Jays, TD Ballpark. TD Ballpark. TD Garden. TD Ballpark in Dunedin. And Washington Nationals, the ballpark at the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach.
When I lived in Clearwater, I was on the Little League team, and this was in 1977. And we played at the Dunedin location for the Toronto Blue Jays. Their stadium was connected to our Little League fields. We didn't play on that stadium, but when the championships were going, as far as the Little League teams in the Clearwater, Dunedin area, Tarpon Springs area, you could play on. They played on the big field. That was the reward. So that's funny too, because I remember my Little League coach. His name was Steve, and I remember him giving me a ride home, and he played his brand new cassette. His Stevie Wonder cassette that came out that year was called Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder, and I remember listening to that. I thought it was the name of another song. I thought it was the name of the song was Music, because he says music all the time in the Stevie Wonder thing, but the name of the song is Sir Duke.
Yeah.
So I remember that. Like I said, you remember these memories you remember. You just, like it happened yesterday. And I remember riding in this guy's car, give me a ride home from Little League, listening to Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. Brand new. I think that's when it came out, because he said this is my... I think he took it out of the package and put it in, and he was psyched. So it's funny. You know what I mean? That's you say Dunedin's, Blue Jays, and they played at Dunedin, and then I remember my Little League time, and that was terrible. I was terrible. I wasn't a good ball player at all. I'll tell everyone that. I was good on the field, though. I was a shortstop, but I couldn't hit to save my life.
So, MBTA. Let's get to the MBTA. Don is groaning over there.
We're just talking about baseball and nice stuff. Oh, yeah, one other thing, too.
We said we were going to talk about
all right, one other thing, too, because we got a message from on our Facebook.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sully's in Castle Island is open.
Go get a hot dog at Sully's.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go get a hot
so
dog.
it's open.
Yeah, in the snow.
So, real quick, just a quick little thing that's ongoing now. Due to issues with the real-time...
Issues?
Yep,
issues. No,
issues.
Issues. Does it reflect the T? No, come on. No, not issues.
Issues with the real-time train information system outlining station departure boards will temporarily be unavailable to display live updates and T alerts. So passengers should go to the website.
Because there's so many of them, that's why. It overloaded.
Yeah.
I bet the system crashed because everyone was on it.
Moving on. Effective February 13th through the end of 2023, entrances to Natick Center Station will be relocated to Washington Street for access to the inbound and outboard platforms. So there's some work going on there. Of course, this is for Framingham-Worcester line, of course. Also on the Framingham-Worcester line, effective until the Worcester Union Station Improvement Project is completed, passengers board and exit trains on a temporary platform at the east end of the station, which is accessible from 45 Shrewsbury Street. So it still allows some extra time for that, a lot of extra travel time if you're on that line. But there is some pretty big improvements going on at Worcester Union Station. The Greenbush line, there's nothing going on there. But a lot going on altogether. The Newbury-Rockport line. From March 20th through the 28th of March, buses will replace regular weekend and weekday train service between Swampscott and North Station. This is to allow for signal improvement work on that line. And also, effective October 1st, so this is ongoing already, so this was from October 1st, 2022, Lynn Station is closed in order to be rebuilt as part of the Lynn Commuter Rail Station Improvements Project. And that's on the Newbury-Rockport line, so trains do not go to Lynn on that line. The other line that is seeing some closures is the Haverhill line. Saturday, March 4th through Sunday, the 12th of March, buses will replace trains between Haverhill and Reading to continue signal improvement work as part of the commuter rail safety and resiliency program. Train service will operate between Reading and North Station. So that is on the Haverhill line for next week. Also, I think this is on the Providence-Stoughton line. There is some things going on the Providence-Stoughton line. South Attleboro is temporarily closed. Commuter rail service to South Attleboro. There is significant deterioration of a pedestrian overpass at that station. And service will resume and pedestrian overpass will reopen when the station accessibility improvement project is fully completed. And also, Sharon, the staircases leading to the platform at Sharon are temporarily closed for maintenance. Passengers may access the platform via the pedestrian ramp on Chestnut Street. And, of course, that is in Sharon. So there's some things going on in Sharon. And some things going on the Providence-Stoughton line. So that is the commuter rail. Those are the updates for the commuter rail. Don, what are your quick thoughts on that before I get to Subway?
As far as the South Attleboro station, that's been a while. That's been closed down for a while. But I think the relief is the opening of the Pawtucket Central Falls that they opened up in January. So, I mean, anybody who lives in South Attleboro, just go over to Pawtucket and grab the train into the Boston area. But there was a big gap between Providence and Attleboro. I mean, that's got to be 8-10 mile gap. No service stations between for the longest time until they opened up Central Falls and Pawtucket Central Falls Station. So that came just in time. But it's kind of crazy. I know how the station's set up, and you have to cross over a pedestrian bridge to use the station to get to, I believe it would be the northbound side. But you got to close the whole station just for the fact that it's a pedestrian bridge. I mean, maybe put somebody there to cross people. Maybe put somebody in there 24/7 as far as anybody working for the T to cross people safely to the other side. Just pull the fence up, build a walkway, and there's no reason why they got to close the whole station just because of pedestrian bridge. I mean, the rest of the station seems to work. it's the whole idea of crossing safely. I understand that, but I mean, why would you just put somebody there, pay somebody to be there for the day and shuttle people back and forth? But I can understand why, because the high-speed trains of the Acela go through there and they don't stop. So, but I mean, there's got to be a reason why they just can't build a pedestrian bridge, even if it's a wood structure. A good company could come in a weekend and build it. So there's really no reason why they got to shuttle for the pedestrian. They could put something temporary up.
All right, let's do the subways.
Keep that station open.
Let's do the subways. Red, orange, blue, and green. Let's do red first. Red line. There is shuttle buses replacing red line service between Alewife and Kendall MIT this weekend. So yesterday and today for infrastructure upgrades. Also, there's a shuttle buses on the red line as well for service between Harvard and JFK, UMass, the weekends of March 4th, 5th, 25th, and 26th to allow for work on the new signal system. Shuttles will not be directly servicing Park Street or downtown crossing. Please board at Haymarket or State. Downtown crossing, of course, there is still construction going on at the garage there as well. Braintree branch service between Braintree and North Quincy from 8:45 p.m. to the end of service on March 20th and 23rd. The shuttle buses are replacing that. That is for maintenance work. And the Mattapan trolley, something going on at the Mattapan trolley as well, as I mentioned on Thursday. Shuttle buses will replace the Mattapan trolley service from 8:45 p.m. through the end of the service on March 6th through the 9th to allow for work at Milton Station. So that is the red line. I don't know why Mattapan trolley is red. It's the red line, and then Mattapan trolley is also signified in red.
It is, because it's the end of
it's
Ashmont.
the end of okay.
Yeah.
So it's continuation of the red line.
Yeah, it's just a trolley. It's a high-speed trolley. Yeah.
Okay. So well, let's move on to the orange line. Station closure. The green line and orange line will be bypassing Haymarket Station in both directions this weekend. So Haymarket is closed this weekend to allow for work on the Government Center Garage demolition project. And also, orange line service suspended between North Station and Ruggles for the weekend of 11th and 12th of March for Government Center Garage work. Government Center Garage work is the key word here for a lot of this stuff. And track work. Use the green line between Government Center and Copley. And shuttle buses for service between Copley and Ruggles. And also a orange line shuttle bus as well between Wellington and North Station will be taking place as well from 8:45 p.m. to the end of service on the 27th of March through the 30th. So March 27th through the 30th for maintenance work. That's the orange line. And now the blue line, nothing.
The blue line is perfect.
Nothing at all, yeah. Apparently the blue line is perfect. And that goes as well for the slow zones as well. They came out with some slow zones, the MBTA. They came out with information about slow zones, and apparently the blue line is perfect. We'll get to that in a second, though. Green line. Let's just go through the green line real fast. Green line and orange line bypassing Haymarket Station in both directions this weekend. Again, we mentioned that already. So that is going on there. Shuttle buses will replace Green Line service between North Station and Government Center on the weekends of the 11th and 12th. I think we just mentioned that as well. And let me just take a quick look at B, C, and D and E. I think it's going to be the same information as well. So Don, what are your thoughts on the subways now?
What about the weekend of St. Patty's Day, the 17th? When's the week?
I believe there is nothing going on for that weekend. So
Everything's
there is
open?
no, yeah. So
Double check that, because I mean that would be dumb for them to.
Yeah, I don't think.
Close half
I don't
the city
think they're.
down.
I don't think they are.
Okay.
I'm just double checking here.
Yeah.
I don't think they are for that weekend.
All right. Well, at least they're smart in that regards, because that would be chaos. People trying to, and people want to do the right thing. I mean, they got to have a couple drinks, enjoy St. Patty's Day, and they want to take the tea, and they got to get in there, and they got to be shuffled all around on shuttle buses and confusion, and doesn't add up well. I think at the end of the day, but wow, that's chaos.
All right.
That's a dish of chaos you just read.
So it's 7:51. Ron, do you want to talk about the slow zones this week or next week?
I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
All right, so let's talk about that next weekend, next Sunday.
I don't even want to talk about next weekend. I'm all set. It's just.
Well, we do have to mention something about it.
Okay.
I mean, it is important information that has come out.
It is good that people who think they're just going to jump on the train this weekend.
The slow zones are for the subway.
The subway, right.
The subway. The information that's come out is for the subway. We'll talk about it a little bit next weekend.
No, but I'm thinking, even the shuttle buses and the reroutes and everything.
Because we don't have time to talk about it.
Right, but someone think they're going to ride the train and not be have a problem is probably mistaken. So
yes,
like I said, they got to get the stuff fixed fast, because people, 3 or 4 times people are gonna be like, "I'm done."
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm done.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM on WVBF. We'll be right back. We'll do that next week.
No,
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it next week. It's exhausting.
We have to. It's important information. We have to.
Do it on Middleboro Matters.
I'll do it on Middleboro Matters too. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna have much time to do that. Actually,
I think you spent a little too much time on the tea stuff today. But
whatever.
I mean, the show's over. I looked at the time. I was like, "Wow, the show's almost over." That's all right. I don't have to run my mouth every weekend. I'm kind of tired today. I don't know what it is. I just can't get out of my funk.
Well, it gives us a few minutes to talk about the today in histories.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there is some important today in histories this week. I needed to get that MBTA stuff out of the way because there is some important stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You're right.
I had to get that out of the way. And we have to talk about.
Too bad you have to waste a half a show. Cause
it wasn't a half a show. It was 12 minutes.
No, that's half
it's like 12 minutes.
It's a quarter of a show. But I mean, it's just saying. It's just.
But we kind of have.
You just wish they'd hurry up and get the work done.
Yeah,
It just seems like it's going on.
We have to talk about it because there's a lot going on.
I know, but it seems like it's just going on forever.
I know.
It really is.
Yes.
I mean,
I agree.
People's patience is just getting wear and thin on this.
Oh,
They got to get it done.
Yeah.
Well,
there's always going to be delays.
They dropped the ball big time on that
apparently
Haymarket Street, the Haymarket garage thing, and that bottleneck is, there's a bottleneck there. It just goes to show that you got to eliminate the bottleneck. The two tracks come right close to each other, so you cut out Haymarket, North Station, and State Street, and the city's cut in half. It's crippled. Like I said, the only way to get around it is that silver line.
We'll talk about it briefly next week. That's all.
Yeah, I'll complain about it.
Yeah, just complain about it. People like to hear you complain.
They do. People are missing my complaint. I haven't been ranting that much.
So we'll complain about the signals, the slow zones next week.
They were supposed to not have any slow zones after the total rebuild of
There's 70.
Well, 70 in the whole system. There's 24?
Or around 70. I'm going to say around 70 because I looked it up and it doesn't equal 70.
I was with you.
It doesn't equal 70. I'm saying this in the Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I looked this up and it does not equal 70. So I will say next week around 70, which that is what it is. And this is for the subway system only.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about the commuter rails.
We got Chuck in the studio next week.
Chuck, yes. Yeah.
Five things up.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. You know what? I kind of forgot about that. So I guess we can wait on the. I can do that Thursday.
What?
The slow zones.
Yeah,
I can talk about that Thursday.
Don't worry about it. I mentioned Chuck next week though.
Yeah, I'm gonna right now actually. 3, 2, 1, 0. And we are back here on the Middleboro in Review show for today, the 26th of I almost said March. February. It's not March yet. We're almost there.
Hence the snow on the parking lot.
We're almost there. Actually, Wednesday, I believe, is March 1st.
The Federal Credit Union buggy out there has snow all over it, so the little shell.
Real quick, next week, Chuck Hart will be joining us once again. Chuck Hart from the Middleboro St. Vincent de Paul, or from St. Vincent de Paul.
The president.
The president.
The president.
President.
We have royalty coming to WVBF
next week.
Next
week. So,
wait.
All right.
He's always a great guest.
Our today in histories. We got a couple to talk about. 1616. Galileo Galilei is formally banned by the Roman Catholic Church for teaching or defending the view that the Earth orbits around the sun. Interesting one, Don. 1616. The understanding of science back in the 1600s was a lot different than what it is now.
You think?
Yeah, very different now. Different, Don.
They didn't have the Captain and Tennille show, so
no.
Missed out on a lot.
Don, you'll like this today in history. 1979, the Superliner rail car enters revenue service with Amtrak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never rode in one because they're so expensive.
Today, February 26, 1993, the World Trade Center bombing in New York City. A truck bomb parked below the North Tower of the World Trade Center explodes, killing 6 and injuring over 1,000 people. And in 2008, the New York Philharmonic performs in Pyongyang, North Korea. This is the first event of its kind to take place in North Korea. Our birthdays today. 1829, Levi Strauss, German-American fashion designer. He founded Levi Strauss & Co. 1846, Buffalo Bill, American soldier and hunter. I gotta check with my grandfather, but might be related. Our family might be related to Buffalo Bill. I gotta check with my grandfather though. Related to Buffalo Bill Cody, in some way. So I gotta check with my grandfather. We'll report back on that, but I gotta check with my grandfather on that. 1852, John Harvey Kellogg, American surgeon, co-created cornflakes. Cornflakes, Don.
Yeah.
1887, Grover Cleveland Alexander, American baseball player and coach. 1928, Fats Domino, American singer-songwriter and pianist. And 1932, Johnny Cash. He would have been 91 today. Johnny Cash would have been. Singer-songwriter, guitarist, and actor. Don, have you ever seen a Johnny Cash movie?
I remember he had a lot of TV movies in the 80s. He had a few of them. And they were pretty good. I checked them all out. But it's funny how you talked about Fats Domino. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really grow up listening to Fats. I mean, I think my father did, and my parents and whatnot. But it's funny because there's one song that sticks in my head. It's called Whiskey Heaven.
Yes.
And the only reason I really know that song, and I go back, is because of a movie. It was a Clint Eastwood movie. It was called Every Which Way But Loose. And he's in the bar, and he's the entertainment, Fats Domino, and, and he's doing the song, Whiskey Heaven. And it's funny, too, because I wasn't, when I started watching that movie, I was younger, and I wasn't really into the country, but something about when you watch movies and then there's a soundtrack that's affiliated with the movie, you tend to, like those songs. And Whiskey Heaven's one. So if I was gonna listen to some Fats Domino now, that'll be the first thing I'll dial up is Whiskey Heaven. So.
All right, so
Happy birthday, Fats.
Yeah, that will do it today for today's show. Again, we have a transportation topic that we're going to talk about at some point very soon, and that's the slow zones. But
I'm just exhausted.
But hopefully, either that's next on Thursday if I have time, or
I have nothing left in the tank.
A Sunday at some point.
I have nothing left in the tank as far as the tea. I just had it.
Gotta talk about it at some point.
I know.
It's pretty important.
I'd rather you talk
Big news.
I'd rather you talk about paint drying or
but all right,
tie collection or something.
We gotta go, Don.
Okay.
Thank you for listening today, and we'll be back next Sunday with another edition of Middleboro in Review. Bye bye, everybody. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.